Hello and welcome back to Bookmark Chronicles. Today I am bringing you my original tag, the Ringing in the New Year book tag. This is my second time doing it on BookTube, but I started this when I was blogging back in 2015. Essentially, this is just my way of closing out the end of the year, prepping for the new year, and all that fun stuff. So let's get started. The first question is best book or series that you've read in 2021. For me, I always have a different answer for best book and then best series. So for best series, I have to give that to The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. I gave each book in this trilogy at least 4.75 stars. I think I gave Dragon Republic 5 stars. That one was my favorite of the three, but I really enjoyed this, and I'm fairly new to adult fantasy, so that was a pretty big deal. As far as best book of the year, my answers are not going to be a surprise to anyone. The first one is Ray Bear by Jordan E. Fueko, obviously, and the other is Iron Widow. Iron Widow actually surprised me. I didn't think that anything was going to come so close to Ray Bear, but thank you to Rachel for gushing about this book and encouraging everyone to read it, because I read it and talked in her live show and we had a great time. It's such a fucking great book. If you have not read either of these, I highly recommend that you do. Both of them are very well worth it. Next is authors that you've discovered this year and would like to read more from. For me, my answer is Shari LaPena. I read The Couple Next Door and I really enjoyed it. This is going to be one of my best books of 2021 as well. Robin actually gifted me this book. I feel like I heard someone else talk about this book and that's why I added it to my wish list. The fact that Robin actually got it for me just kind of ended up being a coincidence, and then when I read it I was like, wow, this is actually really good. So I'm really interested to read more from her. It seems like she puts out at least one book a year. They're pretty short, so they're pretty easy to get through, but I definitely want to continue with whatever she has that's published already and whatever she ends up putting out in the future. The next question is, what is the best book to movie or TV adaptation of 2021, or your most anticipated adaptation for 2022? To be totally honest, I'm not sure about this one. I feel like so many things have gotten pushed back because of COVID and everything, so I haven't really been keeping up with adaptations. And I know like Wheel of Time was released. I didn't really watch that. There's another Game of Thrones thing coming out. I never read that series. I will say though, Ray Bear is getting a Netflix adaptation. It probably won't be released in 2022, but that is probably the one thing that I'm the most excited about that I've actually read. The next question is, have your reading habits changed at all, or have you gotten into any new genres? So I haven't gotten into new genres necessarily, but I have been again trying to read more romance. It went a lot better this year than it did last year, so that's something. Although I will say I read The Only Good Indians this year, and that's probably the only book that I've read that classifies as horror rather than mystery or thriller, so I guess that counts. As far as reading habits, I will say that I have been reading a lot more audiobooks, because at the end of last year I discovered more apps that were recommended to me. So Libby, Hoopla, and Scribd I've been using a ton. I've also been reading a little bit more in the form of ebooks. I don't tend to read a ton of ebooks, but I finally signed up for NetGalley this year, and so I've been getting e-arcs, which has been pretty fun. I actually need to get a new Kindle though, because mine is trash, so I've just been using the Kindle app on my phone. But definitely been reading more than just physical books this year, and I've been enjoying it. Next is your favorite ship of the year or new beloved character. As far as favorite ship, I have two. First would be Tarsai and Sanjit from Ray Bear. That's not a surprise, I'm sure. Actually, there's another couple in here too that I really liked. Well, in Redemptor, so I won't say who because that might be a spoiler for some. And then my other ship of the year would be Leah and Jay from The Trouble with Hating You by Sadia Patel. It's funny that I choose them because I hated Jay in the beginning and I was like, there's no fucking way this romance is gonna work out, but of course it did because it's a romance, but they really came through. Oh my god. My other ship is Leah and Jay. As far as favorite character, I would say Chen Katai from The Poppy War. I absolutely love him. He's just so great. I adore him so much. He deserved better. The next question is, have you started planning your 2022 TBR, and how many books do you hope to read? So I set my Goodreads and StoryGraph challenges this year at 45 books. I'm at 60 something, so I have no idea what my goal is gonna be next year. I'll probably only up it to like 50 or 55. I honestly don't know what I'm gonna do with that. As far as TBR, No, I haven't really started planning it just yet. I do know that I'm going to be buddy reading something with Robin, but otherwise I haven't started planning my TBR just yet. In January, I don't typically do TBRs, partially because it's my birthday month, so I tend to mood read during that month rather than stick to a TBR. Otherwise, there are some books that I do need to get to, some that I said I was going to read at the beginning of 2021 and I never got to. So I might make those a priority, but I'll talk more about that in my 2022 reading plans. The next question is, will you participate in any reading challenges or readathons? So again, I'll talk more about this in a later video, but I plan on sort of nixing Goodreads this year and fully focusing on the StoryGraph. So I'll do the reading challenge on there when I figure out how many books I want to read. As far as readathons, typically my answer for this is no, because I wasn't a huge readathon person. I mean, technically I'm still not. However, this year, Robin, Dasha, and I did host the first round of Game of Tomes, which is a Game of Thrones themed readathon that we host. So in November, we do Origin Story, which is like a 2-week mini round. And then we'll be doing our main quest in March. That will be a month-long readathon. So I will be participating in at least that. I might join Hoathon this year, just because I do have a ton of Katie Robin on my TBR, and I'll probably just read most of that during it. But B and Nicole and the other mayors of Hoa Valley have done such a great job on that readathon, so I may also join in that. But other than those two, probably not, because again, readathons really aren't like my favorite thing in the world. I know there are some people that try to do as many as they possibly can all year long. That's just not my thing, but I will probably at least do those two. And even if I don't fully participate in Hoathon, I will follow along with everything that they're doing. And the last question is, do you have any New Year's resolutions? So what I mean by this is, what goals do you have or do you want to set for yourself for 2022? Whether it be for your blog or booktube, book talk, bookstagram, is it bookish, is it life related, whatever it is. So as far as bookish goals, I think I said this last year too, I need to read more of the shit that's actually on my shelves. I need to get through quite a few things, so hopefully I can actually start to do that. There are certain books that I've had for a really long time that I'm probably going to prioritize because I'm tired of looking at them and wondering if I actually want them or not. So that will definitely be one. I don't really have any plans for like booktube specific things. I'll kind of just keep doing what I've been doing. I really enjoy doing drunk book reviews and stuff like that, so I'll keep doing those. And then as far as life things, I just need to get through to graduation, June 2022, and this fucking horror of grad school will be over. It's actually not that bad. My motivation dwindles every fucking term. Every time we start a new term, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get my shit together, I'm gonna get back into the groove, and then I just don't care about anything that I'm learning. But I'm starting one of my capstone courses, so maybe that'll change because I kind of need to care about that. But we'll see how it goes. I'm not enjoying being a student, honestly. And I contemplated a second master's for a while, but I might change my mind on that. So those are all the questions for the Ringing in the New Year book tag. Feel free to tag friends if you would like. I am going to tag Robin and Dasha, of course, Veronica, Jashana, Heather, Nicole, and Hugo. I think that's enough for now, but and you, if you're watching this and you feel compelled to do it, please feel free to do so. Otherwise, that's all I have for you today, and I'll see you in the next video.